Rocking my granny specs today. Hi, loved one. It's TJ, and I'm here to help you expand your mind so that you can enjoy a life of abundance, confidence, happiness, fulfillment, joy, bliss, and the list goes on and on. And speaking of which, I share a lot about living in abundance, being abundant, living in your purpose, following your path, following your flow and your passion, and also a lot about bossing up on your happiness. But today I want to dial it back for a moment because it dawned on me that a lot of people, like, yes, this sounds great and all, but how do I get here? How do I grasp get doing these things and keep it going so that I can actually have a transformative experience in my life? And I was like, you know what? Let me just jump in here, and because I know that many of us have heard this many times to some capacity in church. If you go to church or if you went to church at any point when you were younger, we've heard that we are eternal spiritual beings. But not many of us really know what that is. We don't really know. We've heard it, we have the knowledge of it, but we don't know. And let's just unpack that a little bit. We are eternal spiritual beings living a human experience. So, and we're just unpacking it. And like I said, having the knowledge is not enough, just merely having the knowledge. It's not about faith, hope, belief. It's about knowing and being. That is the difference between someone who can take this information and run with it because they know versus someone who hopes, who believes and have faith. When you know, you seem to be more engaged in the process because you know at the end there's going to be a result. So that's why I say it's about knowing, it's about being, it's about embodying that characteristic. It is a higher level, a high end level of consciousness. Okay, the knowing and the being. So what you're doing, you expand your consciousness to where, and I have a list of things that I wanted to share. I jotted them down and I was like, I have to share this right away. You have a level of consciousness to where you actually change your perspective on things. There is a range, you have positive and negative, and there is, I like to call it a spectrum. And there's also a perception. I mean, you think about it, when you have conversations with people and you guys come to a conclusion, you come at it from different angles, or you may disagree, and each of you are walking away from the conversation like, what's wrong with this guy or gal? Why are they, it's obvious that I'm right, and they might be thinking the same thing. Like, how could you possibly think that this is right? This is, we, especially now, it stands out more and more, the differences of opinion and the difference of different schools of thought. And they're not necessarily right and they aren't necessarily wrong, no matter what end you're coming from. But I want to talk about changing your perspective on matters that seem negative in your life, things that happen to you that seem negative. And I want to challenge you, invite you to ask yourself, what is it that I am to learn from this? What's trying to emerge from within me? And be sure to ask empowering questions versus disempowering questions. Like the first two questions I just mentioned, those are empowering questions. And understand that anytime you ask questions, the universe is set up that way that it will start to generate the answers for you. The answers will come to you. So instead of saying, why does this always happen to me? You put that same energy in saying, why am I always so successful? Oh my gosh, why does everything happen so easily for me? And just by law, the universe is going to begin to give you those answers. So remember to always ask empowering questions, okay? And you will get the answers. Number two, start to approach problems with amusement. I know it's easier said than done. It's a process. But start to approach problems with amusement versus as problems, and switch them to projects. What is this problem that I have? And you go back to the perspective. What's trying to unfold from within me? What do I need to learn? What can I learn from this? How can I resolve it? And then you can get a little creative. And that's why I say approach it with amusement. Allow yourself to get creative, and then things will start to unfold for you. Okay? 3, choose to let go of what no longer serves. Okay? Whatever is no longer within you, just go ahead and release it. Let it go. It's okay. Because that's what we do. It's like shedding skin. You let that go. You let the old die, and you make way for the new. This gives you space to emerge, to renew, to heal, to shine, to sparkle. Okay? As you are, as you should. Number 4, know that you're absolutely perfect as you are in this moment. So making mistakes is precisely what this whole thing is about. You make the mistake, you learn, you gather the information, you learn from it, and you grow. Okay, it is part of the human experience, and we are always growing and unfolding from within. So it's like if you can imagine a seed, okay, and you plant a sunflower seed, for example. You put that sucker in the dirt and put some water on it, and what comes out? Depending on what kind of sunflower, I like the big ones. But even with a small seed, you have this great big sunflower that seems to come out of what seems to be nothing. But that seed has all this information within it, so that when it is in the correct environment, it flourishes, it grows. The same with the tree and all of the out of nature, the rose bushes, everything. One little seed. And so that is what we are. We are of nature, and we are that seed. We have lots of information within us. It's just waiting to unfold and grow. So remember that. Approach things that way. Next, we want to always seek the joy and then share it for the highest good of all. Always seek joy in everything. It might seem ridiculous. It might be big as this. The joy you see at the moment, you might be going through some tough times, but this might be all you can see. The light is about big as this little opening here. But that's what you want to keep your eyes on. Keep your eyes on that, because as you do that, you start to vibrate, and whatever you're going through, you're going to navigate through it a lot easier. And then all of a sudden things will start to open up for you. It's just really important to always seek the joy and the light in all things. Also, have compassion for others, because they too are trying to figure this thing out. I like to give an example. Driving up and down the street. When you're driving and someone cuts you off and you have the road rage, remember that at some point in the past, and maybe in the future, that was you. Cut the person some slack. If everyone is safe and it was an honest mistake, if you can see that it was an honest mistake, cut them some slack. And that's just an example, but just have compassion for your fellow brethren and sister, and just learn compassion. And that actually takes me to the final thing, and that is lead with love in all you do. So if you want to expand your awareness, practice these things each and every day, bit by bit, okay? And that is how you will start to unfold and see and experience more fulfillment, joy, happiness, abundance in your life. You will start to magnetize. Yes, magnetize, but you will be magnetizing your manifestation, the life that you desire, if you practice these things. Okay, I hope this helps someone. Until the next time, live simply and be kind. Much love.